Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to EUWChallenger Series number 13, Day 2, with the second best of 3 with Asian Maids and gBots. I am Paul and I'm joined by Metas.
Hey Pulse, hey viewers, how is it going? I'm looking forward to this game. gBot definitely have the unknown factor coming into this EUWChallenger series. We've not seen a great deal of them thus far in our encounters. So I'm quite interested to see how they're going to turn out here. Asian Maids had a really good performance last time around before being disqualified, as we've already talked about previously. So I'm not too sure how to call it, Pulse, honestly.
No, so we were talking a little bit about their compositions. I'm just paying attention because we do have some harassment going down. No real engagement just as of yet, but in terms of composition, we have a strong AoE, literally just down the middle, exactly what you would expect. AoE, that is their team composition. They want to go for team fights. On the flip side, we have Asian Maid with a composition which is very engage and disengage orientated in the sense that they can control and choose when they go for team fights unless they've been picked. So that could really work in their favor against a solid team fight composition, because if they know they will lose right out, then they can just disengage. That's all they need to do.
Yeah, completely agree. Just, it seems that we're not going to have any invades kicking off here or any big action going down. So I'm going to answer a question from chat asking why they were disqualified last week. We've already discussed this, but if you have just joined us, of course, you wouldn't have heard that. They were playing with a perma-banned player, and his account was perma-banned because of DDoSing. So that was through Riot. We were pouring to Riot's, basically their mantra of not allowing these perma-banned players to take part in these kind of tournaments. So basically we just disqualified them. We said, look, you're going to play with him, you can't play in the tournament, and that's the way it goes. This week they're not doing it. Regardless though, some action at bot lane there, Pulse. Just Kennen and Sona poking down the Caitlyn and Zyra.
Yeah, so Caitlyn Zyra is a very poke-centric lane, heavy on control with both their traps and grassing roots, and case in point as we have Sona being chunked down. And Jim's on Kennen is actually doing very, very well. This is kind of curious, and meanwhile Q finds himself caught by Echinators. Meanwhile, Hipster comes in from the side, offers some assistance. Q tries to go back in though, with Neptuno heading in, looking to ward him off away from those Wraiths, and all Deception comes across, doesn't quite connect. With the E coming through the wall, again doesn't hit the Wraith, and they do walk out. Good, successful counter jungling coming in from Eco. And now heading around to the red buff, and Aatrox knowing he can't really afford not to be here. Like a drag, pops him into Bloodwell, doesn't have much blood there though. Auto attack, Flash comes out, has the vision from the ward though. First blood picked up from the red buff, coming in for Jarvan.
And that's huge. That was a 1 versus 1, and Aatrox's Bloodwell going down, so that was big plays from Eco. Meanwhile in mid, Hipster Jez is flashing up red. In fact, the flash comes in from Neptuno, claiming that kill. Big plays from gBot globally. Something to mention as well, Pulse, that I've just noticed. We were told before from the manager of Asian Maids that they just lost their mid laner. Their mid laner had quit literally just before this tournament started. So that's why Finite is now in the lineup. Something I want to bring attention to. Hipster Jesus is normally their AD carry, and now he's gone mid. So they're playing out of position.
Yeah, playing out of position, and they have a new player. That's like literally the worst way to enter a tournament, and there was nothing they could do from their perspective. So Finite isn't going to be on point. XL Winner gets completely dropped, another kill picked out, and even in the lanes without jungler intervention, they're dying left, right and center. Dragon in the top lane, EUWChallenger, Flash comes out, great usage and timing, and timage is not a word. So Eco heading on back, does have the double buff, and Aatrox is still feeling the pinch of being counter jungled. Red buff is still up though. Both junglers know this.
Yes, very true. But I don't think that Ku is really feeling too confident right now. After that previous exchange went well and truly against him, and Eco is a level up on him with those double buffs. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how that one pans out. Regardless, Ku is just lurking around the sides here, walking on top of a ward. So Dragon knows exactly what is going on. Interesting enough that Dragon would play Shyvana actually, Pulse. And you were mentioning previously in the Champion Select that you used to main Shyvana in Season 2. We've not seen her at top lane for quite a significant amount of time. What are her strengths and weaknesses up there?
I'm actually going to hold that thought for a second as Aatrox finds himself. Eco once again uses Dark Flight over the wall. But because his Bloodwell is down, he has to be so careful because Eco is still on the hunt for the kill. Recalling within that brush, we'll see if Eco reaches the situation or even looks for the dive onto top lane. EUWChallenger in a precarious position. Cell Division is up. And also Aatrox sticking around. He's knowing that this is going to happen. Looking for the counter gank. Dragon just pushing this one in. Tanks a tower shot for his troubles. Not sure they want to go for it just as of yet. Coup over the wall. Throws up the Blaze of Torment. EUWChallenger still dropping low. I'm still keeping on this because action could kick off at any moment in time. Eco still sniffing for this gank as Akrox heads around the side, still looking to ward him off. Has no point, in the Golden Aegis, so he's looking for the all-out damage and aggression. And still, he's still waiting at the top lane.
Yeah, he is. They've kind of been doing this dance for the last minute or so, and nothing's really coming about from this. Coup is starting to edge his way back towards Jarvan now in terms of XP. Remember that first blood was massively detrimental. Again, Ari's putting down a lot of damage. That's another place where there's a level differential. And now Eco is going for that tower dive as Dragon finally hits level 6. That is going to be Dragon's descent right now. Eco will manage to survive the tower aggro, and they do pop the cell division from Zac. So that is one passive down right now. Bloodwell is still on cooldown, but not for very long.
Yeah, they are very vulnerable in that top lane if they go for the initiation once again. Jarvan, however, level 4, won't have the Cataclysm for a while, doesn't have the flash. Along with Shyvana, who's actually trading off with them once again. Great initiation with the slingshot, doesn't quite connect it to Let's Bounce. Still has that ultimate available to him. Like a drag comes down, knocks himself backwards. Still had one charge, and Sledging Strike comes in. The double kill comes out. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, Zyra drops low. Jimps for the last auto attack, picks up one. Looking for the second onto Finite. Doesn't quite land the stun, and doesn't go all in. Tanks a tower shot, and will be backing off. Kills going down all over the map.
I really have to say though, without like slating anybody, that was really poor play from gBot at top lane. It seemed to me like there was a lack of communication, where Shyvana, Dragon went in fairly aggressively as Jarvan and Eco walked away. So effectively it was a 1 versus 2, we completely segregated off. The Dragon's Descent had already been used for that tower dive, and then you saw the power of Aatrox and Zac just jumping on top of her with the Let's Bounce as well. Then Jarvan came back into the fray after thinking, dude, what the hell, I was just leaving the lane on low HP, and they secured a double kill. And that could be somewhat of a turnaround at top lane pulse, because elsewhere it's been fairly one-sided in gBot's favour. Yeah,
for sure. I'll take that question now about Shyvana. So, Shyvana in the top lane, at least in Season 2, performed a very similar role to Singed, because you could farm behind people's turrets at level 2, meaning that from the get-go, you were already out-CSing them and out-damaging them. The reason why you farm behind people's turrets is because you try and force the jungle aggression onto the top lane, therefore alleviating it from the rest of your lanes, and then you have great mobility to get out of dodge. Now she has level 7, she'll have the ultimate and the burnout, so Dragon has almost literally no way of really getting caught. He's also running flash. Some Shyvanas like to run exhaust because of CC and the great mobility innately into a kit, but running with flash, almost no way she can really get caught if she is trying to go with that line of play.
Alrighty, well, I am interested how this game is going to progress into the mid-game period, because Drake, of course, is starting to get very much viable for both teams to try and pick up if they can get it. A lockdown here, Kennan's ultimate and his auto attacks are doing more than enough damage. They pick up that kill with Trebnek scumbagging it away from his AD carry and also from his AP carry of Neptuno, who jumped around from the side. Meanwhile though, now Eco is trying his best to keep this mid tower alive. Nice reactionary play from Jez's and also Q. Like, okay, you picked up our player at bot lane with El Pavari. We're now going to push your mid lane very aggressively. Winner, however, is in a really bad situation. However, he will get a kill backwards towards the Sona. So a 1-for-1 trade at bot with Kennen taking it down. They will get the tower after this as well. So overall, gBot coming well out ahead in that exchange.
Also mentioning how good a duelist is, that Kennen. In the bot lane, 1 versus 1 as an AD carry, not many AD carries can match against a pure trading potential. Not just in damage, but also in CC. Eco finds himself caught by Q, Flag Drag comes down into the command Protect. Blue Wolf is up, also reaction play coming in from Shyvana. And EUWChallenger still sticking at the top lane. Bottom turret falls to Kennen. And it doesn't look like anything's just going to happen. They are looking to try and steal this away, but without the vision, can't really do it.
And also, Paul, it's important to mention here, look at XL Winner's stats, look at his build. He looks to be going kind of AP Zyra, or some kind of hybrid. Had, what's that, 26 AP as a result of Rune and Masteries, and has an amplifying tome as well. So definitely going for more damage output than necessarily a full-on support. Regardless though, they are looking to pick up this Drake right now. 4 players strong. Zach's still at top lane, so it's worst case scenario for Asian Maids going to be a 4 versus 2 situation. Here comes Jarvan, tries to get the flag and drag steal. Here's the shockwave zone, not allowing him to escape, and the Stranglethorns as well. So that's going to be a Drake and a free kill pickup from the Asian Maids.
Yeah, huge displacement going on to the face of Jarvan, and the reason why going for the damage on Zyra works is because her scaling and her base damages are so high. There's no real reason not to. If you can afford to go damage, you should do, and ultimate comes out from Neptuno. Not really sure what he was shooting for, but Jez is being forced back. Got to make sure he doesn't get caught. The slicing maelstrom coming into the chop, and all the instant CC. Now Aatrox finding himself Kennen. They take down the tower. He's looking to follow up and pick a kill in return, but Barry comes out. He can't afford to get dropped here in the middle of the battlefield. Finite really can't help him. Bloodwell comes up. Isn't enough to finish him off though. He comes down, drops Jim so low. Grasping Roots comes across, but a great piltover in return. And now Trennick so slow right now. One auto attack picks up the kill, 1 for 1, but also with Orianna dying and the middle tower coming out. Cataclysm comes down, looking for the next couple auto attacks onto Finite. The classic combo from Caitlyn, E and then Q, not enough to get the kill onto Jarvan, while he picks up the kill in return. There was no real chance of getting out of that one. 4 kills go down, and only Orianna left alive on the map.
That was just beautiful from Jims there. Like, he got his dancing shoes on as soon as Zyra died. Had such low hit points, was just darting backwards and forwards. Made it really difficult to hit the moving target and escaped. And before that, he managed to actually duke out, I believe it was Aatrox jumping in with the Bloodwell, using Barrier at the last possible second, so really baited him in and got the Aatrox hook, line and sinker, and picking up another kill for his team. So 11-5 is the scoreline, 2 towers to 1, and that's going to be a 3.5k gold advantage going into gBot. This is one of the more explosive games we've been casting recently, Paul. Lots of action from the very beginning.
It is indeed. We haven't seen gBot before, and we have of course seen Asian Maids, but not an awful lot of them. They are a relatively new team, and an even more new team when we take into account that their mid laner is only, is new to this very game. In fact, they had their mid laner quit out of their team at the very start of this tournament, and Finite is in the wrong position. So they're playing kind of not optimally, but you can't really blame them because they're not playing the roles that they're really familiar with. So right now, we have everyone kind of congregating around the Dragon area, at least from gBot, and now the counter jungle was coming in. We'll see what reaction can come out of Asian Maids.
Yeah, I am kind of surprised though that Jims is renowned for his Kennen AD play. This is a guy that used to be in Giants. He used to play in LCS. So it does surprise me somewhat that Asian Maids would not ban out Kennen from him, knowing that he is one of the few players out there that does main a very mean AD carry Kennen. But regardless, Charm goes in a bot lane. That's going to be XL with a drop hit. Does pop out the Stranglethorns, but will not be able to stave off that kill. And now in this 3 versus 3, are they going to try and push the tower? No, they're not. Aatrox and also Orianna join the pursuit. This is going to allow Jarvan to push mid. But yeah, it's a bit of a head scratcher, Paul. So I'd have expected to ban out this Kennen, because look at him so far. 5-0 and 3. Aatrox jumping in to clear some wave. That's really a big mistake from Ku, which is so uncharacteristic from him. He's been so strong yesterday and the last week, so making plays like that is just not in his repertoire normally. But in doing so, he's also cost not just his life, but Hipster Jez's life as well. And that could be the end of this tower. At least a lot of damage being put down onto it.
And it didn't help we saw an Ocelot ultimate come out of Jez's as well. The shockwave didn't connect on any player. And yeah, I completely agree. Back when I was casting Gfinity a couple, in fact it was a couple months ago now, in London, I saw Jims play live and he was on point with his Kennen play when he was back in Giants. So I completely agree. One of those staple pickups, and it kind of seems like they didn't quite do the research that was necessary for this matchup.
Yeah, it is definitely a must-ban champion against them, because Jims, I mean, we could talk about him all day, honestly, but he's just that good, and it's being reflected. 5 kills, 0 deaths, 5 assists. He's going to go back, instantly buy up the Infinity Edge, going to be coming back to the fight even stronger. 1 minute 30 or thereabouts on the Dragon respawn, and already gBot are starting to push forward the envelope here, push forward these fights in their advantage. The only outer tower that really stands is the top one, which Dragon is looking to punish very shortly. Aatrox coming around from the side. Bloodwell is now available once again, so he's going to go very aggressive. Dark Flight used, but look at this damage coming out from Shyvana. Wow, that is the power of Shyvana with a Tiamat.
Yeah, and very interesting that he's actually opted for Flame Breath first to max, and purely because it's more instant damage than Burnout, and it's more instant wave clear, and it reduces the cooldown, so there's no real reason not to, and on a single target, it's so much damage. And because it's magic, they can't really play against it. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, don't even get time to comment, as Zyra just evaporates. Now Dragon's Ascent coming out into the Let's Bounce from EUWChallenger. Dragon doesn't choose to follow up, though. And in the mid lane, Siege comes out from gBot, looking incredibly dominant in this game so far. 15-5, 6k ahead, 2 towers ahead. Jarvan looking for the guy onto top lane. EUWChallenger does not have the Cell Division passive, so he might be able to reclaim a kill if they're looking for it. And in the mid lane, he's actually just looping around. Not sure what he's really looking for, but Coop's is going to farm out his jungle.
Yeah, so a couple things to mention in this game. First of all, they're not necessarily excuses, but they're just to put things into perspective. I am keeping an eye at top because Dragon and EUWChallenger did just butt heads there. But regardless, as we said previously, Asian Maids lost their mid laner literally right before this game started today. So last second they had to get a replacement in. Finite came in, and that meant that Hipster Jez's had to go mid. So he's playing out of position. He's normally the AD carry. The second thing as well, as I feel, Pulse, I'm not sure if you'd agree, as they're actually picking up the Drake for free here, that Ku really needs to get rolling if Asian Maids are to win games. I feel he's their MVP. I feel he's one of their real strengths in matches. The fact that he was crushed so early in that first blood, I feel really knocked them back 6.
Again, when I was casting Ku a couple weeks back at Insomnia, again at another live event, Ku was just absolutely on point. He's one of those players where you think to yourself, you know, if Ku does well, he could carry his team, and then his team will revolve around him doing well. Meanwhile, the top lane Dragon prevents the recall from EUWChallenger. Preferably he was trying to stop that on Ku as well, but didn't quite connect the dot. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, more Siege coming out, but Ku is their playmaker. He has to get rolling. I feel a bit sorry for him because he wasn't really able to gank any lanes because they were already losing. So from a jungler's perspective, you just can't do anything. You literally can't, because if you gank, they'll die anyway.
Exactly, and that's where the main problem is coming about right now. From Asian Maids, they just have nothing they can bring in, and that's going to be the shockwave coming down, but still they've not picked up the kill on Eco. Here comes the cavalry as well. Jarvan should be fine. Blood Bowl has been popped, the flash as well from Jarvan. Meanwhile, Elastic Slingshot has been used, and the Crescendo as well. Ari picks up that first kill in the encounter, and here comes Jims from the side. Stranglethorn's used defensively, but Jims is just going to hold around the back, then flash in with a slicing Maelstrom, getting all the stuns. However, can he pull off this 1 versus 2? Absolutely picking up the first kill. Can he go in for the second? Here comes Neptuno from the side, misses the charm. Elastic Slingshot again from Zac. He is absolutely determined to pick up this kill, and that will be the shutdown gold coming in to the hands of Finite. Very aggressive, kind of ruthless aggression from EUWChallenger. And it's not finished just yet. Ari's coming round from the side, tried the Elastic Slingshot, but actually cancelled it there, I believe. And that's going to be Cell Division coming about. Kill goes in from Shyvana onto Zyra. They're going to get the double kill as well. So for all that good work Zac did, it just simply doesn't matter.
Well, the sheer mechanical skill from Jims was kind of crazy. I was just looking at the intrinsic stuff he was doing, or the complicated mechanical skill like work in like footwork and positioning was kind of crazy. But even so, EUWChallenger recognizing that he's the only real player in their team who can do anything, with Caitlyn with 100 farm at 19 minutes is a bit. It's not fun as an AD carry. I expect to have 180, 170, something around that area. She's got 2 kills and 1 assist, but it's not looking great. And Ku potentially caught in the bot lane though, with Neptuno finding himself there, using Spirit Rush once again, still has the next charge, doesn't quite connect. The charm connects one pass of the Orb of Deception, but doesn't land the second. Ku gets out with his life, but no longer with the flash.
I am a bit surprised that Neptuno burnt his flash there though, because the kill wasn't really on, and especially because he fired out the charm prematurely, didn't land. So I don't feel that that flash was required, especially when Dark Flight was off cooldown. He must have known it nearly was. Regardless, it's such a small thing to get dwelling on. And now XL Winner is going to find himself Jims and also the Jarvan. That's not good news. Nice shockwave though. And also Zac jumping in. The ball delivery system's working out well this game, but I don't feel it's going to be enough to really pick up kills. Ace Snowhole comes out. That's going to be Jarvan falling to the ultimate. In the meanwhile though, Kennen is trying to clean things up on Zac. Aatrox jumping in from the side. Bloodwell, however, is not up, and Dragon is going to be firing in with this Ravenous Hydra now. Going to be doing all kinds of damage. Finite Force to actually 90 caliber net away. Has the flash and also the barrier at his disposal if he so needs. But actually, that sneaky, cheeky couple of traps will be stunning both Dragon and Tremnek, and Caitlyn gets away.
Yeah, so 1-for-1 trade overall, and it's not the worst case scenario for Asian Maids, but the worst case scenario is having your AP carry picked up from Neptuno. Doesn't quite get the kill off once again using Spirit Rush, but as the objective of Baron is on the field, that could well be the next point of contention. Probably give it another couple minutes, but Dragon's going to be up in 2. So we'll see what the next play is, but they just need to play it safe. They don't really scale off as a composition, they only really get stronger. And because they have the option of just going for team fights and forcing them into their base, there's very little recourse from Asian Maids apart from outplaying them massively.
Yeah, I fully agree. I don't want to say it's GG just yet because we've seen stranger things happen, Pulse, in the EUWChallenger series, but what I will say is it's going to take a lot for Asian Maids to bring back this game. That's a 10k gold deficit, 21-7, 5-1 on towers. So it's not just gold that's working against them, it's map presence and it's map control as well. So it's just the case, there's so many different threats coming out from gBot. Even Shyvana, who is very tanky, is going to be doing damage with the Ravenous Hydra. That's not even mentioning the 5-0 Ari with a Deathfire Grasp, or the 7-1 Kennen with an Infinity Edge, Zeal, and Vampiric Scepter. It just doesn't look good news whichever way you look at it. Whichever angle you look at this game, gBot should be winning.
Yeah, of course, and it's not quite at the stage where I'd say, okay, now they need to be looking towards the next game, but it's getting there very quickly. Eco returns into the Baron pit, and they're taking it down so very, very quickly. Something must have twigged in the minds of Asian Maids, but they're not approaching Baron as fast as they should be if they are looking for a steal. In fact, I don't think they're even, one, wanting to go for it, or two, actually know that it's happening. Now Aatrox is moving around, puts down the ward, realizes it's gone, could be picked up in return as they see him with the ward, but no real need to. They just need to clear out the wave, push it in, and then look for a team fight.
Yeah, very true, and I honestly think that Asian Maids probably knew Baron was being taken, but they're just like, well, what can we do? If we go there, we're all going to die. That's pretty much going to be the GG. Yeah. They're going to take an inhib at the very least if we go in. So we may as well just give it to them and hope and cross our fingers that they make a mistake or we pull off the engage of a lifetime, because that's exactly what it would have to be. It would have to be like a 4 versus 5 with everything landing perfectly. And they kind of eliminate Kennen before he can do any damage. But even then, as I said, there's plenty more threats on the table. Jarvan's going to be split pushing the mid lane right now, pushing down these minions, while the rest of his team focuses on this top tower. Again, Pulse, I just cannot see how Asian Maids can stave this one off.
Yeah, and it's such a big if to say, okay, we have to get Kennen, and we have to get a 4 versus 5. It's just not going to happen. And also, well, comes in from Kennen as a defensive tool more than anything, potentially landing on the front lines, and that might have been what they were looking for if they had, you know, gotten the pick onto Kennen. I feel like they should have just all-inned him when he put that foot wrong.
Yeah, and that could be a small glimmer of hope, because Kennen didn't just use Slicing Maelstrom, he used his flash as well. Caitlyn's damage is just not doing anything there, and now Zach's jumping in all by himself, and doing so he's splitting up the rest of his team and himself. I honestly do not understand that engage at all. As a result, Q's going to go down. Zach is going to be killed in his Globules. Here comes the Sonic Crescendo and the Strangle Thorns as well. I feel maybe that was just a pure desperation play coming out from Asian Maids, but you've got to pick the right times. Jumping in like that, just segregating the rest of your team and allowing them to be crushed down is not the way to be engaging.
They had a chance. They knew that Kennen's ultimate was down, his flash was down. If they were going to remove him, then now was the time. They still had Ari to deal with, but it was like, cross that bridge when we come to it, but that engagement was not on point, and as a result, all the inhibitors are falling, and probably inevitably the game with a very convincing win, honestly, from gBot against Asian Maids in this first game. Again, it's worth mentioning that Asian Maids are running a different lineup and people in different roles, but even so, very convincing win from gBot in the first time in the tournament.
Yeah, so that is going to be a comfortable 1-0. I think it's a case that Zach kind of... the red mist descended and he just wanted to go in. And he wanted to go in right there. What he didn't realise is there was a big wall in the way of the rest of his team. So for them to get close to him would have taken 2 or 3 seconds of their time, and that's not even taking into account the rest of the team of gBot that's going to be standing in their way. So then again, as I said, may have been a desperation play. They realized that the game was slipping through their fingers at an alarmingly fast rate, and they just wanted to make something happen before surrendering. So you can't really blame them, Pulse. As I said, even if the engage was perfect, the chances are they still would have lost there. They were too far behind.